what's up everybody? Welcome back to another episode of B is for Build. In today's episode, we're working on the Raptor, and first off, we're gonna get it started. We're gonna get a new battery in there and then get it started. And then we're gonna start doing some kind of tear down, some discovery, find all the damaged pieces, take every damaged piece off that we can, and get ready for the replacement pieces when they come in. Stay tuned. Before I get started, I want to take a second out to thank our sponsor. Today's episode is sponsored by Squarespace. You guys have probably heard me talk about Squarespace before, but if you're unfamiliar, Squarespace is a wonderful online platform that gives people the ability to build amazing websites. A lot of people used to ask me, because I was a software engineer for many, many years, where should I go to build a website or who should I hire? And I always said, just head over to Squarespace and you will be able to figure it out, and you'll manage your own website. You will have your fate in your own hands, and it's just so much easier. It's just an all-in-one, one-stop shop to be able to have a great website. And I believe in that so much. I have some of my company's websites built on that. My mom's company's websites are on Squarespace, and we've loved it. We've been customers for years. Squarespace gives you the ability to really easily create a beautiful website or an online store using their award-winning templates, so you have a great design right off the bat. It's an all-in-one platform, so there's nothing to install, there's nothing to patch, you never have to upgrade anything, and you'll get 24/7 award-winning customer service. It's also an extremely flexible platform for many different types of creatives. So if you're a musician, you want to throw some music online, you can do that. If you need to have a storefront and sell some of your products, you can do that. If you have a restaurant and you just want to share your location and your information, it's very easy to do that. It's a very flexible platform that works for everybody. So guys, if you're making some new moves, you're doing some new stuff, and you want to share it with the world, you need a website, and Squarespace is the place to do it. So hit the link in the description or go to squarespace.com/bisforbuild and you will get a free trial as well as 10% off of your first purchase. Thanks Squarespace for sponsoring this episode. Now let's get down to work. Alright guys, so the goal for today is to look at some of the damage that the wreck has caused on this truck and see how bad things are. We kind of know some things, but we want to jump into a lot of it. And then we're going to do some kind of backyard repairs to try and be able to get this wheel to steer with the actual steering of the truck. That way we can move this thing when we want to into the shop or into the paint booth so we can work under some cover. So we're going to kind of do some temporary fixes. They're not really fixes, but they're going to make it operate a little bit better. The other thing that I really want to do is start this thing up for you so you can hear how it sounds. Oh, and I also want to, if we can get this thing running and moving and kind of driving a little bit better, we could bend this thing back out, and then we can see the extent of the damage on this lower bumper lip right here, and see what needs to be repaired on that if we got to pull it off the car or whatnot. Truck. I might make that mistake 30 more times, but I'll get it guys. Anyways, first things first for today, I told you guys that I would show you how it sounds, so we're gonna go ahead and pull the battery now and go buy a new one. Kyle got the battery out. While he was doing that, I went ahead and pulled the headlight out just because I was bored. This thing's destroyed. I already ordered a new headlight, so that's good to go. While I was in here playing around, I noticed that we have a radar detector, which is pretty fancy. I haven't had one of those things since high school. So I'll know where every grocery store automatic opening door is on my way to and from work every day. It's gonna be fantastic. We can see it is actually wired into the cabin, so we're gonna have to do some hunting around and find out where that goes and if it functions. But we won't be able to do that until we get some power. So let's go get a new battery. Kyle to the rescue. I got a bad elbow shoulder unit, you know, it's tough. Kyle got a new battery, bigger, better, stronger, also made by Ford. Fantastic. Well, kind of Ford backed. I don't know. That thing's got a 9-year warranty. Hey Kyle, I hear they sell beer right there.
They do. That is a thing.
All right, new battery is in the car. Truck. And we're gonna test it. Locked, okay. Now I really want to try this 2X button. This is the remote start. I don't know if it's a double tap, I don't know if it's a tap and hold. It's not working. Maybe because the hood's up. Sometimes cars, like if they don't want to kill somebody, they think you're working on it, you hit the key with your hand or something like that. Let's get this hood closed. All right, round 2, remote start, double tap. Tap and hold. Damn it, Ford! I wanted this to work so bad. I've never had a car with a remote start. People in the comments, I know you're already typing. Let me know what I'm doing wrong. I gotta get this thing figured out. All right, well, the key should start this baby up. Here we go. Very nice, very nice. give it a second to warm up, and then I want to see if I can let you guys know how that supercharger sounds. They don't build boost very well when you're in park, but we'll give it a shot. All right, it's a little bit more warmed up. Here's our boost gauge. Right there is basically 0, so that's no longer vacuum, and then anything above that is boost. And basically the only way is we could try and brake boost it a little bit in gear, or just give it a quick jab at the throttle here. We'll try our best. See, we're not even able to really build boost. You can hear a little bit. I mean, here's just how it sounds. It sounds pretty good. It's like a nice, you know, beefy V8, but when I jab it, you're gonna hear a little bit more kind of the whining sound. It's weird how slow the RPMs fall in this engine. So yeah, it's a little bit hard. Let me try and see if I can brake boost anything. I really don't want to just plow into my Toyota over there, but yeah, that's too dangerous. That's too violent. I'm not gonna do that. Okay, we're gonna back this thing up a couple feet and we'll get started working on it. Never ceases to amaze me how big this thing is. Now I know, guys, the difference between a turbocharger and a supercharger, and it might have seemed like I was explaining how to build boost on a turbocharger, but oddly enough, supercharger's kind of the same way, where without engine load, it's kind of hard to build boost. If you have a supercharger, you'll know. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get started. We're gonna pull this wheel off, and I'll show you guys the damage that we're dealing with here. So after seeing some of the extent of the damage down here, we're gonna try and change our goal a little bit. We're not gonna do the bodge repair so we can drive it around anymore. We're gonna leave it right here, and we're just gonna try and tear off this bad stuff and start on repairs, get ready for the new parts when they come in. So let me show you around the damage. One of the biggest things right here is that this is our tie rod for our steering rack, and you can see that it literally sheared off of the knuckle right here. So that's not very common. Normally the tie rod snaps. Never seen this happen before, but there you go, it happened. So that was one of the things I was thinking about, just like temporarily welding on in place, but screw it, that thing's staying off. So we've got a new tie rod end because the ball joint here is toast. It's only like 50 bucks. It's got one of those. Our CV boot is opened up there, and you can see that's why we have all this grease down below. So we got a CV boot repair kit as well. The knuckle, spindle, whatever you want to call it, is obviously toasted because of the damage that, well, yeah, because part of it's sitting right here. So I wanted to replace that. Now this is a bolt-on hub as well. And I thought, well, everything that's told me is basically, yeah, when cars get in a wreck hard enough to damage a wheel or you know, smash a wheel like this one did, or even smaller stuff, what normally happens is the wheel bearing goes on these things. So you need a new hub as well. It's a bolt-in hub. So I've also ordered a new hub as well. So spindle, this piece up here, all the way down, hub. The rotor we need to salvage. I don't have a new one of those. Brake caliper's totally good. So we're gonna salvage those pieces. A lot of this other stuff is gonna get replaced. Down here at the bottom, you can see that the bottom ball joint for our lower control arm, so this is our lower control arm right here, the bottom ball joint, it's hard to see because it's dark, but it got smoked. It's like, it's in really, really bad shape. So I got a new lower control arm as well. It's a pretty expensive piece, but you could buy the ball joint separately, but I don't have anybody that can press the ball joints for me, and I don't really trust this one after all that it's been through. Well, actually, I mean, it looks fine. It's such a huge hunk of aluminum, it looks like. But anyways, I got a new one of those as well. That's the only piece that's actually come in so far. So that is about everything that I've found that is damaged down here, other than the pickup points for this. So you can see that this pickup point is bent a little bit. It's bent out like that and out like that, if the camera would focus. It's bent like that and like that. And the other one is in way worse shape. I'll show you that once we get some stuff off of here. So our goal today is to try and kind of get access to that type of stuff. So we got to tear a lot of this stuff off. So we're going to just start working on this caliper and see if we can get the caliper and maybe caliper rotor combo off of this hub. We got our caliper and our rotor off of here. So the caliper is just two giant bolts in the back, and then you remember, you don't want to ever let that thing hang by the brake line, so we're really careful to hang it by a hole here in the frame, and that's looking good. So then the rotor was super stuck, rusted on here. This car for 2014's got quite a lot of wear and tear, which creates a lot of rust. So we had to use a little bit of PB Blaster, and then just beat the hell out of it with the largest mallet or sledgehammer or whatever that you have. while not damaging your rotor. So once we finally got that off, now it's time to go to the next step. So we got a couple sensors here. This looks like wheel speed. This might be ABS sensor, I'm not 100% sure, that run into our knuckle or spindle, kind of two words for the same thing here. And that's the next piece that we're gonna be trying to remove. It's gonna be a little bit tricky because this is four-wheel drive, so you have a front axle coming into here, but we should be able to get it off. Here is the spindle or knuckle, whichever you want to call it, off of this front end, and you can see that's where the front axle threads into, and right here is where the tie rod for the steering rack completely just sheared off of this thing, which that's pretty crazy to snap an inch of thick steel. And then down here is the ball joint for the lower control arm, and it came with the spindle, but as you can see, it was a good thing that we got a new one of these because this guy was in bad shape. So you can see that we got right here is our axle end, that's what's left of it. And then we got our busted CV boot that we need to repair. This was also on the end of this. Not exactly sure what this is, but it's definitely some sort of a sensor. That could be the wheel speed sensor, and then this guy could be something else, although this looks a lot like a wheel speed sensor. I don't know a lot about trucks, but both of those things go on the front axle, and both of them need to be taken off while we replace the stuff. So next thing, we're gonna go after our tie rod end for our steering rack. This is getting replaced, so we're gonna get a new one of those. We're gonna loosen this guy up right here. We're gonna take the sway bar linkage off right there, and then we're gonna try and pop this lower control arm out, which I think is going to be a really, really big struggle because of how damaged the mounting points are. We've got the bolts out of the lower control arm, but the problem is because there's been some bending and tweaking, that thing doesn't want to just like slide and drop out of there, which I didn't really think it would. So we're going to try and attach a ratchet strap to there, running over to an anchor point over here, and then from there we can jump on it like a slack line while smashing that thing with a hammer and see if it falls out. Ratchet straps are your friend. That helps so much. It was so much easier to get that out. So you can see that the pickup points are pretty badly bent, and we're gonna have some serious work to do to fix those up. It's not a subframe that we can replace, it's actually, you know, part of the frame, but I'm confident that we can fix them up pretty well, and I think I'm even planning on welding in some reinforcements in there once we get it all dialed in. So in the next episode I plan on doing that, and then we're gonna go ahead and put all of our new parts. We got a new lower control arm, new spindle, all the stuff that we took off today. We got new parts of all of that to throw back on here, so we should be good to go. So one more big question I wanted to ask you guys and ask your opinion on. So blue. It's blue. I've never had a blue vehicle before. I'm not super against it. I like this blue color. I think it looks pretty cool. But it is a Raptor. And we do Raptor Liner things around here. I've been thinking about, should we Raptor Liner? So here's the options that I'm thinking. So we have a new fender coming in. It's not the same color. It's red, and we would have to paint that. So we could paint it to match the factory paint, and then we'd be good to go. We'd have a blue truck. We could do optional graphics on the back here, that we can make our own custom graphics for the back. That would be cool. We can do that whether it's blue or not. But here was another thought that I had. So FJ's over there. Raptor Liner has been very, very successful for me. I've had it for many, many years. I would not hesitate to Raptor Liner or anything else, except for it kind of kills the resale value unless you find somebody that wants a Raptor Liner vehicle. But it is a Raptor. So it would be kind of cool to Raptor Liner the Raptor and then do gloss black. So what we could do is we could figure out our graphics that we want to do, print them out on vinyl, stick them on the back of the car, well, first, spray the whole back. I said car, truck, damn it. Spray the whole back of the truck black, gloss black. Vinyl decals over that. Raptor Liner the whole thing. Peel off the vinyl decals, we'd have gloss black underneath, so we'd have Raptor Liner with gloss black decaling underneath. It's a thought that I've had and I've been kicking around. Let me know what you guys think. If YouTube still has the polling option, I'll put the poll around here. Let me know what you think. Factory blue or Raptor Liner black? Alright guys, that's a wrap on today's episode. Thank you so much for joining. If you want to help out and support BS for Build, head over to bsforbuild.com where we have merch like my hat and my, well, this shirt sold out a long time ago, but you know what I mean. And otherwise, subscribing always helps support the channel. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace!